Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become the confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very excited to have with me Tabatha Jones. And let me tell you a little bit about Tabatha. She is the CEO of Empowered Leadership Coaching and a career advancement and leadership coach, a keynote speaker and author based in San Francisco Bay Area. With over 20 years of experience leading high-performing technical teams in corporate America, she now specializes in helping women across the U.S. remove career obstacles and implement effective strategies. Tabatha has successfully guided clients from major companies like Comcast, Cisco, ABV. I think I said that wrong. Is it ABV? ABV, PG&E, and Tyson to secure promotions and develop leadership skills. Her personalized coaching programs focus on career advancement, leadership development, and strategic job search techniques, empowering ambitious females to achieve their goals faster. Tabatha's book, Promotion Ready in 3 Months, The Women's Guide to Career Advancement, can be found on Amazon. Today, we're going to talk about, already ready, paper pencils out there, ladies, the promotion playbook. And I think that you men out there, I know I have a large male audience. I think you probably could take some notes too. All right, so please join me in welcoming my guest, Tabatha Jones. Tabatha, so nice to have you on my show.
Oh, hey, Vicki. Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to share some great information with your listeners.
Very good. So we always start with 2 easy questions. I gave a hint, but I know the Bay Area is not large, but it's pretty big. So where exactly do you live in San Francisco? Is it near the Golden Gate Bridge, or are you in more of a suburb area?
I'm in more of a suburb. I'm about 45 minutes east of San Francisco. So I'm definitely in the hotter area. I'm out on the San Joaquin Delta River. So we've got a lot of fun activities out here and just love it.
Yeah. Spend some time in that area. So tell us about your journey that led you from corporate world to doing what you do today. What was that moment that you said, this has to stop. I can help others, and I need to do that. That's my new mission.
It had always been kind of a calling to help other people. And as you know, climbing the corporate ladder and leadership in corporate America, oh my goodness, it actually is a lot about helping other people develop their own careers while you're developing yours. And I just had such a love of that part of my job. And, in the telecom industry, on the tech side, there are definitely a lot of reorganizations and changes. And I had been through many, but as we were approaching kind of the last one in 2019, the last one of my career, I just had that strong pull that said, you know what, it's time. I had personally used my promotion strategies myself after sitting in a role for more than 10 years with a project manager title, doing senior manager and director level work because I had not really advocated for myself at the time. And what I learned from that part of my journey is that it was my job to be in the driver's seat of my career. It was my job to advocate for myself and really understand the value I brought. And once I figured that out, the last 10 years of my career, I managed to earn 4 promotions. So, knowing that I was having such an impact, not only on my own career and my own ability to advance, but then on my employees' abilities to advance. And,
Mhm.
in corporate, it's sometimes the leaders are kind of in that space where you don't want your employees to leave. You love them. You want them to be with you
Yeah.
forever, right? It's like, gosh, you're exactly where I need you to be. Don't go.
Yeah.
It was a huge source of pride for me when they were ready to get promoted, and I was able to help them move into that next leg of their journey. So, fast
Yeah.
forward back into 2019, there was a huge reorg. I was then leading a team that was situated across the entire country. My scope had shifted a bit. The trips to Philadelphia had gotten a lot more frequent, which is a little bit tough from California. My body doesn't adjust to time zones like some people's do.
Mhm.
And I just was really tired and thought, I've been feeling the pull. Maybe this is the time. So I kind of stuck it out through 2020 because we all know what happened in March, and then just positioned myself to make that leap in April of 2021.
Wow. It's so funny. It's like our careers are very paralleled. I went from the East Coast to the West Coast for a number of years. I was a project lead. Same thing, did director work whenever I was just project lead. And and also I've always felt like I should mentor people as I went along. You know,
Yeah.
don't let them have to go through some of the things that I did. Give them a little bit of insight, which I think is so much lacking sometimes because there's so many managers that are putting out fires and they forget about the people and that aspect of what they do. That's really keeping them from truly being leaders.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I had posted a director position when we went through that last reorg. So I had a director role available under me, directly reporting to me in the organization. And I was actually shocked at one of the candidates coming into her interview, very well prepared, beautiful 90-day plan. I'm a huge fan of a 90-day plan. I was
Mm-hmm.
super excited, but nothing about the people was included in that plan. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens is a lot of leaders get into that doing and being everywhere and staying in the weeds. They forget about the leadership part, which is so critical when you want to advance.
Yeah. And I think that's really important. One of the things that I found is that, especially if you're leading people, is that you have to let them lead, you have to let them fail, you have to let them experience. And your job really isn't to do. And especially whenever you promote someone that is a high performer or, really good at Excel or really good at, project management or really good at technical engineering and all those different things. But nobody ever mentored them in the part of the job when you become a manager is that you have to take care of your people. And
Absolutely.
and so they fail, that you have this wonderful person who ends up leaving a lot of times because they're so frustrated with the fact that they can't do things, they can't be the person that's doing all the work. But that isn't, that shouldn't have been why they got promoted. They should have been one that's inspiring and motivating and certainly teaching new things. But
Yeah.
it's always interesting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And especially in the technical space, because unfortunately, a lot of people are promoted because of their technical skills. But once you're a leader, those skills are important, but they're not nearly as important as the leadership aspect. And we see a lot of leaders in the tech space get branded as micromanagers. And it's not really that they're micromanagers, it's that they've never learned how to delegate. They've
Yeah,
never learned to find their confidence in leading and letting go of the doing. And so it does create some tension. It can create a lot of discomfort. And to your point, it causes a lot of people to leave their roles because it's not feeling like a good fit. It feels like, oh, I'm not ready to be a leader. when really what they need is a stronger mentor and to kind of get back to their why. Why are you leading? Is it because it was the next logical step, or is it because you truly want to serve your people and help them get to the next step and help them become the best that they can be?
And I think, when you're thinking about promotion and, we'll get more into your playbook, but when you think about promotion too, for me, I was really fortunate the last probably 10 years, 15 years maybe of my career before I retired, that I had managers that really recognized that I could move people to do more than they thought they could do. And so that no longer were they looking at, well, how smart is Vicki with doing pivot tables, or um, creating the best strategic plan. Although that was part of my project management, but they really needed somebody that could start to move the team to perform at their best. And so that's when the promotion started to come. And I think a lot of managers miss that. And it's probably because they were not really mentored properly, but they're looking for somebody that's doing excellent in those technical things, and not so much looking at that whole person.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we went through that last reorg, I had 5 leaders reporting to me, all manager, senior manager titles, as we were waiting to fill that director role. And only one of them had worked for me prior. So kind of knew my expectations, knew how I led, knew what I expected of leaders. And it was really interesting to kind of observe, see how other people were doing their jobs. And in 3 of the cases, I couldn't distinguish the difference between what the manager was doing and what the analysts were doing. So it took a lot of coaching, which I love, obviously, but a lot of coaching to help them understand, you know what, we're going to lay this out. We're going to lay out what you do, what your lead should be doing, and what your analyst should be doing. And what I need you to do as a leader of 10 people is prioritize one-on-ones. I need you to prioritize your team's development. I need you to prioritize, you know, really helping move the needle and keeping everyone inspired and motivated, because we're going to go through some hard things. And when I left, one of them actually said, she said, you made me believe in myself and helped me see that I could do more than I ever imagined possible. And it's that type of leadership that people need and people are looking for. I keep seeing different articles about, we're cutting middle management, different companies, right? I saw one last year where a company was going to replace their middle managers with coaches. I'm like, well, that's not really the right answer either, because it has to be led from the top. And if you in the C-suite are not leading by example and your hands are in everything and you're not modeling those right behaviors, you're not setting anyone up for success. So I'm always interested when I see articles from companies that come across, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's leadership. So important.
And I was on a project once to improve the hiring of sales people. And sales in a lot of companies is a job that would be a promotion for a person, higher salary. And it was interesting that 15 people had to sign off, including the CEO. And it's like, why?
Wow.
Why? And it was all really ego as we go there, because every person was afraid that if they didn't put their name on it and something went awry or whatever, that it would be look badly on them. And it's like, the person that directly has to work with that person should be signing off, and no more, It's
Right.
really.
There should never be more than 3 interviews for a leadership role unless it's in the C-suite, right? And when I see, because I help a lot of women through the job interview process and the job search, when I see or hear 6 interviews, 7 interviews, 5 interviews, I'm like, this is insane. It's like you're afraid to make a mistake or whatever it is. But what we're seeing right now is a lot of desperation because it's taking so long that people are just financially uncomfortable. And, at the end of the day, well, hire the person. If they're a good fit, if they're meeting about 80% of your qualifications and have the skills, give them the opportunity. You can train the rest. But yeah, it's been really interesting. So the fact that you've seen that as well, the top of the company has to sign off is so nuts to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So what approach do you have to career advancement coaching apart from what others are doing in the industry today?
The difference for me is really showing that there are a few things that need to happen. One is it's not just about hard work. It is getting in there and really doing the work to understand your own unique value so that you can properly advocate for yourself. I know a lot of coaches will tell you, get out and network, but they forget the basis of that networking. You need the foundation. You need to understand what is it about your skills, your experience, your background, and your success that sets you apart from your competition. And we all have something. For me, leading technical teams, I actually came from a customer care background. I used to answer phones in the call center back in the olden days, as the kids say. It feels like a long time ago, right? But my perspective then was anytime we made a technical change to the billing system, I could think about it really quickly and easily about how it would impact our front line, how it would impact the field. Everyone has unique experience that helps set you apart just a bit from your competition. And you've got to get really clear on that. And then from there, it's getting comfortable and confident with speaking about yourself to people who don't get to work with you very closely, people who wouldn't normally know you aside from passing maybe in an elevator, just the basics, right? But so many of us will hold back. You'll just think, oh, I saw this person. Hi, I'm Tabatha, and keep walking. Not, oh, hi, I'm Tabatha. It's really nice to meet you. I'm in this department. Tell me more about you, and kind of share some information back and forth so that person gets a really comfortable feeling with you and then following up. A lot of times we'll just have that quick introduction and move on. That introduction is an opportunity to start building relationships so that your name is coming up in conversations as roles become open.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake that I would say we make is we'll wait until the position post to start getting ready or to start making our goals and desires known. And that's somewhere else that I stand out a bit from other coaches. I believe that it takes at least 3 months to start positioning yourself and standing out as that unique candidate who is promotion ready. We don't wait till the job posts. We start doing all of the things and taking action well in advance of that position posting.
Yeah. That's what empowers you.
That's right.
It's interesting too. I always found that the more the people got to know me, what my values were, what my character was, that made the interview go so much better because, and especially whenever I was the interviewer too, I can teach you technical things. I can find someone, if I don't know how to do it, to teach you new processes or procedures. But I can't change your character, your behavior, And so I hired often for that, more so than the technical skills. The questions in the interviews were more to help me uncover more about you. And some people can be very uncomfortable whenever they start to open up the curtain about who they are. But it's really so helpful. And it is that first start of building a strong relationship.
Absolutely. So when I was hiring back in my old job, I would have always a panel of peers to do one round of the interview, so 3 rounds. And I actually had one of the people on my panel come and tell me, he said, I will never interview for you. I'll never apply for one of your jobs. And I said, well, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. He said, you just asked such deep questions. I was like, exactly. I want to flesh out your personality. Yes. I want to flesh out your character. I don't care if you can write code. I want to know that you're going to be a good team player. I want to know that I can count on you when something breaks at 2 a.m. I need to know that I can trust you to delegate to your team, but also to fill in for me if I'm not available. So it was kind of funny hearing that, but yeah, some are not comfortable with that. And that's where you flesh out the right candidate from the others.
For sure. So, how does calendar management play a role in career success, and what tips can you give us?
Oh, the calendar's my favorite. Often we are task doers. We attend every meeting that's on our calendar. We get all the things done all the time. Calendar management is about taking control of your calendar and setting time blocks to focus on the things that are most important. One of those is your own goals.
Mhm.
If I were to, come look at your calendar, would I see time blocked on your calendar to work on your goals at least every week for maybe 30 to 45 minutes? Would I see time on your calendar blocked to prepare for meetings that matter? And I say that because often what happens is we're just so busy running from meeting to meeting to meeting that we might be sitting in one meeting preparing for the next meeting. The reality is, you probably don't need to be in the meeting you're sitting in if you're completely disconnected. You're killing your brand anyway because you look disengaged. And then you're going into the next meeting just halfway prepared. You're not going in having thought about what questions might be asked. Who is your audience? What is your intention? So, calendar management is the key to confidence and success. If you have time blocked to prepare for those important meetings, if you have time blocked to work on your visibility and get in some networking activities, time blocked to focus on your goals and make yourself a priority, you're going to be a lot more successful than someone who is just attending every single meeting that's thrown on their calendar.
Yeah, that's so true. So, what are some common mistakes that women make when they're trying to advance their careers beyond what
Mm.
we've already discussed?
I would say hiding in the comfort zone. And
Yeah.
for us, that is being busy deep down in the work, heads down, not being visible, showing our face and showing up in the room as a confident leader. Another thing I see a lot is chasing the never ending education. So, certificates, degrees, all of the things. And I have seen the tears when someone comes to me and says, I just got my MBA and I didn't even get an interview for this promotion. And it's crushing. And
Mhm.
earning an MBA is a big deal. We celebrate that, of course. The problem is, while you were working on that MBA, who were you talking to? Who were you sharing your goals with? Who knew the reason behind why you were working on getting that degree?
Mhm.
So we get really into, I'm comfortable with education. I'm going to go work on this. It's exciting. We forget to bring it back to what is going to help me stand out and kind of remain top of mind when those promotion opportunities open.
Yeah.
So those are some common mistakes. The other is not looking for opportunities to get out in front of leaders or people outside of your immediate team. And it ties back to visibility and networking. We're very comfortable with the people we work with every day. I say we are. I'm an extrovert. I'm comfortable pretty much with everybody. But, we get really comfortable with our immediate team and we forget that there are so many people outside of that team. There are business partners, there are heads of employee resource groups, there are HR team members. There are people who don't get to interact with us and experience our leadership style on a regular basis. And it's helpful to be intentional about making time to meet with those people. And I'm not saying 50 people a month, I'm saying two people a month. It's not that much, it's not huge, but it just expands your reach and helps you build more relationships so that people think of you when projects and opportunities open up.
My companies were always very big on volunteering
Mhm.
in lots of opportunities to volunteer, and I always volunteered. I That came from my dad, who was always volunteering for things, and I never looked at it as really a great way to network, because as you're rolling up your sleeves doing this work, hard work sometimes for free, you chat with the people around you, and sometimes you're chatting with the CEO or the CFO, or any of those C-suite people, as well as direct managers or managers that potentially could be in that next business group that you were going to be working in. And it was interesting. At one time I had a person say, "Oh, you're just admin? I thought you were a manager." And it was like, no. And so those impressions that you make, those relationships you do just from doing that volunteer work. And I always told people that when I looked at their volunteer hours, I thought, well, if you'll work that many hours for free, I can't imagine how much you'll do for me when I pay you well. So,
Right. Exactly. And plus it levels the playing field when you're out volunteering. Often we're not dressed up in our, office
no,
attire
no.
and looking put together. We've got our hair in a ponytail and no makeup on. And so it kind of levels that playing field. We see each other as humans and really equals, which we are in life, but in the,
Mm-hmm.
corporate hierarchy, it can be a little
Mm-hmm.
different. It just opens it up and makes it so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
I've also seen it at, networking events. I talk sometimes about a golf event that I actually sponsored. I was so excited. My first event I sponsored in business, and it was a women in cable and telecom networking event. And I reached out to some of my connections. Hey, are you going to be there? I'm going to be there. I don't play golf. Let's start there. I guess I should start there. I had no interest in playing golf, nothing. But I'm like, you know what? It's going to be outside. It's going to be a great group of people. It's a great networking opportunity. Checked in. Yes, I'll be there. I'll see you there. I'll see you there. I got there and it was 85-ish% men. And most of my friends were not there.
Mm.
So that day, there were so many relationships being built. I met people in wonderful leadership roles across different companies. I learned about hiring updates, things that were coming up in the near future from different companies. I learned so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I circled back with the women who were not there, the common theme was my manager needed something. Somebody put a meeting on my calendar. They did
Mm.
not feel confident and did not take the leadership over their calendar and say, I already have another commitment. Can you find a different date? Or can I send a delegate? I
Yeah,
can tell you, most of the men there had the same situation happen, but they controlled that calendar. They took the initiative
that's
and
right.
said, so it's
This is
really
priority.
important to make sure you're taking
Yeah.
care of yourself.
That really kind of goes to my next question. Why do you believe that women undervalue themselves in the workplace, and how can they start recognizing their worth again?
We are list checker offers. I don't know that there's a more technical word for that, right? So we get something done, we check off the list, and we move on to the next thing. We have a really hard time as women sitting down and recognizing the value or the impact that that activity had. And we do some big things. And I would say that is one of the biggest things that gets in our way, and we need to shift. So, setting 30 minutes on your calendar every Friday to reflect, it can even be 15 minutes. Reflect back and think, okay, I completed this task. What was the impact to the business? What was the impact to my team? What was the impact to me? Did I grow, develop? Did I learn something new because of this? And document it.
Hmm.
What I see a lot is, and part of my process is updating resumes and helping people prepare for their job interviews. I see very often that women can tell me what everyone on their team does and what an impact that has, but they have a really hard time telling me what they did and what the impact was.
Mm.
You deserve to take credit for your work. You deserve to say, I did this. You deserve to celebrate your wins. And it's so ingrained in us to share and be nice
Yeah.
and, celebrate everyone else. You've got to take some of that for you. And that makes a huge difference when it comes to promotion planning and any type of career transition, really.
Yeah. So whenever we talk about how we communicate that, eh, how you don't want to be having all the conversation I.
True.
Obviously, we and you are important to that, but there has to be that way to communicate that your involvement, your contribution to it, and and still appreciate the contributions of the team as well. That because I think it's so important that you do demonstrate that you can be a team player, but you are contributing to the ideas, to the innovation, the creativity of whatever it is that you're doing.
Absolutely. It is a balancing act. I've had a client who interviewed for a role and it was someone I knew. So I reached out and I asked for feedback. And the feedback was, I understand what her team can do. And I believe she's a great leader, but I heard nothing about what she can do for me. And that's where that balancing act comes in. And sometimes it may look like, I'm really proud of my team. We successfully completed this project, which is resulting in X dollars in revenue for the quarter,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. And I'm really proud of my role in that because I was able to remove these obstacles, which helped us implement the project flawlessly.
Yeah.
It's just a balance and
Mm-hmm.
understanding the impact that you make. And if you can quantify it, it's even better because we can pop that right on your resume as a bullet point, which helps
Yeah.
you shine just a little bit more.
So time has flown by. We could really talk probably for hours on this subject. And so I want to encourage anyone that's just listening. This is the time that I'm going to be sharing my screen with the contact information for Tabatha. If you really think, oh my gosh, I have to talk with her, I have to have her help me with my resume, or whatever it is, maybe just to chat about, to better understand what your goals are and how you might set in to your calendar those ways to achieve it. I'm going to share contact information. You can go to my YouTube channel to be able to get all of the information, as well as my findyourleadershipconfidence.com. So YouTube is Vicki Noethling, my name, easy to remember. All right, the website is empowered-leader.com. Again, empowered-leader.com. And on LinkedIn, you can find her using her name, Tabatha Jones 4485854. Again, LinkedIn, you can just search Tabatha Jones and you will be able to find her. Especially if you're watching this, you can see her beautiful face right there on LinkedIn. All right, Tabatha, tell them about your call to action for today.
Absolutely. First of all, I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. And I do have a free gift available on my website. It is the Career Confidence Playbook for Women 50 plus. In all honesty, as Vicki said at the beginning, it also will help men. I don't check ID, so it could help women who are younger. But it's all about mapping out that next step in your career. And there are strategies and workbook pages to help you. And then would love to hear from you after you read that book and complete some of the activities so that we can get you moving on your path forward in your career.
Awesome. So Tabatha, it's been just such a great time chatting with you. You really shared so many awesome points, and your past experiences to validate everything that you said. So thank you for being an awesome guest.
Thank you so much for having me, Vicki. It was wonderful being here, and look forward to staying connected and supporting
Awesome.
you going forward.
Fantastic. As always, I remind everyone that life is a journey, and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling, signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.